What's up, fight fans? Welcome to Mr. Mustache MMA News. All right, it's a wrap. UFC 303 is over. Today, I want to discuss the prelims and what's next for some of the fighters that fought on the prelims. But guys, before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button to continue getting more MMA content by yours truly. Help the channel grow. All right, guys, getting right into it. Starting from the top, Joe Pyfer demolishes Marc-Andre Barrieu, right? I mean, just marched forward, would not be denied through vicious strikes, found the button, finished him with one of the meanest left uppercuts that, oh man, just finished the job. And Joe was able to just come back after that loss to Jack Hermanson and just show that, like, he will not be deterred, his confidence will not be deterred, and fucking showed out with a phenomenal, flawless victory over a tough Marc-Andre Barrieu. And it's kind of what I thought, where, like, basically if Joe Pyfer can go out there and make Mark move backwards and just fight off his back foot, which is what he did from the jump, Mark can't fight moving back. He's got to be the guy who's the aggressor. He has to be the one moving forward. Anybody who pushes his footwork back, they're able to usually get the job done, and Joe was able to do it damn quick. Moving on, I mean, he shows that he is definitely ready for a ranked opponent, but I mean, there's so much going on at middleweight as well, right? Like, a fight with Michel Pijeda make a lot of sense. A fight with Shara Bullet makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you want to push his name a little bit, I think Paul Craig has a fight lined up. But I mean, you got Andre Muniz. Yeah, I would say maybe Anthony Smith if you really want to push him. Anthony Smith just came off a loss to Roman Dolidze same night. You got Chris Curtis coming back from an injury. But I think him and Chris train together, so I don't think that would make a lot of sense. I think Chris takes that fight too. I mean, nobody wants to fight Brendan Allen, apparently. That would make a lot of sense. So, I mean, there's a lot going on at middleweight. And Joe Pyfer, with what he is capable of, his potential, his stardom, he had the little bit of the speed bump against Jack Hermanson, but Jack does that to a lot of guys. But for Joe, dude, like, it's just, like, he has so many potential avenues that he can go down to middleweight. And he has so much potential. So much potential. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen with Joe. I mean, just he fucking flatlined Marc-Andre, dude. Like, word still, he's still asleep, like, straight up. But great fight. As for Marc-Andre, I think take some time off. He's probably going to fight an up and comer moving forward. But for Joe Pyfer, I mean, there's a lot of fights for him. There's a lot of good fights for him. I like the Anthony Smith fight. Brendan Allen, if you really want to push him. Kyle. Paul Craig. Andre Muniz. Shara Bullet. Michel Pijeda. I mean, those are all guys that he could fight. And I think that would all be good performances. And good fights and good matchups for both guys, too, as well. A real good test. I know Bo Nicholas is going to be fighting Vijeda, I think, next. So I don't know. But I think Bo Nickel and Joe Pyfer would be a good fight too, dude. But after that, what was the fight after that? Yeah, Feely and Swanson. That was a weird one. I picked Feely to win, but I thought Swanson edged it out. I thought he just kind of landed more damage. I thought he was moving forward more. That makes sense. More octagon control, and I thought he was landing more damage throughout the fight. For Feely too, he was landing a lot of good damage. He was a lot of good counter shots, but I didn't really fully agree with that decision in that fight. It was a split, but I mean, back and forth. Both dudes showed out. I don't know if they got a bonus for that fight. I hope they did. And for Feely, I'd like to see him fight Alex Caceres. I've been thinking about that before, and I think that would be a really good matchup. I don't know if Alex has anything lined up right now, but I think Andre Feely, Alex Caceres, I think would be fireworks. And depending on what happens with the Nathaniel Wood fight, I think UFC 304, Nathaniel Wood and Cub Swanson, I think, would be a good fight. Even though, wait, yeah, even though Cub got the loss in that fight, sorry. And I think where Nathaniel Wood is in his career, I would just like to see that fight. I think him and Cub Swanson would put on a really good show. But nonetheless, great fight, great performance by both dudes. Feely got the victory. Can't hate on him for that. You can't hate on, it's not his fault that I think that the judges got it wrong. And I still think that he showed a lot of toughness in that fight because he took some shots from Cub and he was able to really hang in there and, keep it close, right? Moving forward, Jean Silva knocks out Charles Jourdain. Very tough and durable Charles Jourdain up until tonight. Well, not tonight, but UFC 303. Where Jean was just fucking march forward, just throwing bombs. Charles, too, was just doing what he could, but there was such a strength difference. And that could play out, too, with Silva missing weight. He came in at 147 and a half. So Charles went out there and took a risk to fight a bigger opponent who did not make weight. So I don't know what's going to happen with Jean moving forward, if he's going to go up to lightweight. But I think that featherweight, if he can dial it in a little better, I think featherweight, just with his height, is more his jam. But man, dude, that guy's got some fucking power. When he was punishing Charles, and you can see that the second that second round started, Jourdain, he was just you could tell he was in real pain every time Silva touched him. He was like avoiding. You could like at that point, it's like, oh shit, dude. Like if you're just avoiding getting hit at that point, that early in the fight too, it's like it's not looking good for you moving forward to that fight. And when he just broke the clinch and just landed that uppercut, flatline Charles, and just beautiful knockout, and for Silva, man, I mean, he too as well. A lot of good matchups for him. And I'd like to see Alexander Hernandez. Maybe even Cub Swanson. Now that Cub lost in that fight, maybe Cub Swanson, Jean Silva, Alexander Hernandez, Jean Silva, Billy Quarantillo, Jean Silva. I don't know if Nate Landwehr. I think Nate Landwehr has a fight coming up. But also, you have guys a little bit closer to him. I really don't think anything else really makes sense. You got to give him somebody at this point. So I think Alexander Hernandez, Cub Swanson. What was the other one I said? Billy Quarantillo, I think, would be a really, really good fight. Maybe even a Yusuf Zalal. But guys, I think there's still one more fight. My dumbass. One too many bong hits today, guys. Yes, Peyton Talbot. My God. He went out there and just fucking threw the meanest 1-2 ever. I think even in his video that he made, for his opponent to use on him, I think he said to utilize leg kicks, right? Which was it's like, and he's out there playing chess when these guys are playing checkers. He just went out there the second the guy even thought about a leg kick, just pop pop. Which, dude, I love the 1-2 so much. That straight, that jab straight, or even opposite sometimes. Straight jab. I mean, it's if you land it right, if the timing's good, you got a good snap to it. It's so punishing. You can break the nose. You can put the guy's fucking lights out just like that. Sean Strickland. I mean, that Terrence McKinney versus his face is right there. It was like that 7-second knockout. I'm so sorry, dude. I don't remember your name. Your face is right fucking there. Matt Frivola. Got it. Matt Frivola. That knockout that Terrence McKinney had over Matt Frivola. That knockdown that Strickland had over Izzy. Just that mean, just 1-2. You time it so right, especially when guys throw these leg kicks. If you're not Alex Pereira, if you're not throwing a leg kick behind a jab, you're not disguising it, you're leaving your face open. So you have to kind of disguise. You have to make your opponent react before that leg kick comes in, unless you're a guy like Alex Pereira, right? So the fact that Giannis just went out there and just threw the slowest leg kick in history. Peyton just went out there and just fucking put his lights out. And that was just flawless victory. Beautiful. This kid, he is good, man. He's fucking good. And he acts like it's no thing. Just cool, calm, collect, right? And that's impressive. He went out there and called out Adrian Yanez. Love it. Love that next step for him. You know, a good name, a good guy who's kind of in a similar spot where Yanez hasn't really been able to break through like that true prospect status. And I think that Peyton Talbot, where he's in that same position, you know, where exactly I think, you know, 18 months ago where you saw Yanez was in that same position. Good, it's a good fight. I like that fight. If he gets through Yanez, maybe Rob Font. I think Rob Font and Peyton Talbot, I think at this moment would even be a good fight. But I think Peyton, I think another matchup against a game opponent, and I think Adrian Yanez, I think that's a great call out. I think it's a perfect call out. So I hope that that's the fight that is next. As for Yanez, I don't know. I mean, obviously they brought him in as probably a tune-up fight. I think that Peyton had some fights pull out. I'm not fully sure, but as for Giannis, I don't know. Whatever he's going to do moving forward, I'm sure they'll give him some sort of guy coming off the Contender Series or something like that. But guys, that's going to do it for today for sure. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think of the video. What you guys think is next for these fighters. Love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comment section. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Mr. Mustache, MMA News out. Let's fucking go, fight fans.